Good morning, guys. What good morning? It's 11:30 p.m. in my country right now. And in my country, it's afternoon 12:30 p.m.
By the way, whenever we have a group video call, you guys are always discussing time. Exactly, don't you guys have anything else to discuss?
Fine, let's discuss your score in final exams.
It is 6:30 a.m. here in my country, and here it is morning 7:30 a.m.
Now let us talk something interesting. It's Sunday after all. How about I read a very interesting real horror story from the internet?
Yay!
So here I go. Hi guys, my name is Himash and I am a doctor by profession. To be specific, I'm a surgeon. I haven't left my room from past 3 days. I don't know why I have this urge to share with you what I went through, which is the reason why I'm typing this story sitting in my room. Few months ago I got done with post-graduation and since then I'd been looking for a job. I did feel some pressure and concern because I was already above 25 years of age. And finally I got a call for work from a hospital where I got selected after cracking their interview. I was quite happy and joined from the next day itself. Today it's been around 1 month since I joined the hospital. I haven't yet made a lot of friends there because most of them are seniors, but I am in good talking terms with most of them. Sometimes they even call me to sit and have lunch with them. And when nobody calls, I have my lunch all alone, but that's okay. I do not concern myself with making friends at least. Friendships happen naturally when the vibes match and I can wait for it. Near about 10 days from now, I was having a very normal day in the hospital. And suddenly I noticed some people screaming and a weird haywire around me. I could sense some people running too. I'm a human after all. I do get curious when something like this happens. So I asked the doctors around me about what happened. What is the reason behind this sudden change in the environment? So they answered that they do not have the exact details, but a new patient got admitted in the hospital with amputated body parts and limbs. The moment this patient was entered into the hospital, the receptionist could not hold her scream. And whoever sees or passes by the patient starts screaming. People get scared when they see the condition of this patient. And that's the reason some people just run away, which has led to the haywire in the hospital. I felt very uncomfortable listening to the whole story, and I also felt very sad for the patient and their family at the same time. Anyways, after 1 or 2 days, I forgot about this incident and got busy with my work. Though I was always occupied, but whenever I got time, I did feel some need for a friend. Once I was sitting alone in a cafe during lunchtime and I had some random thoughts running in my mind with my eyes wide open. There was a girl standing right in front of my eyes with some astonished faced expressions. She was probably thinking that I was staring at her. So she came to me and asked, "What were you looking at?" And immediately my focus shifted from my thoughts to this girl. With a smile I said, "You must be wondering that I was staring at you." But actually I was visualizing some random thoughts with my eyes wide open. When she heard this, her face expression switched to a mild smile. I asked her the reason for being in the hospital, so she told me she had some fever and weakness due to which she fainted and that's the reason she was gotten here. So she was only here for 2 to 3 days, after which she'll be discharged. Later in the evening, I saw her in the cafe again. She told me that she wasn't very happy with the hospital staff. So I told her that I had the same opinion about the staff of this hospital. As I was the doctor, I told her that she could come to me anytime she needed any kind of guidance. And that's when we started to bond with each other. She could sense that I did not have a lot of friends in the hospital, so she told me that she'll continue to meet me till the time she is here. And this made me a little happy inside, though I did not let it show. Anyways, the next day when I entered into the hospital, my eyes were desperately looking for her. I parked my car and went towards the garden, and that's where I found her walking. I just went straight to her and she too looked quite happy when she saw me. We had a few minutes of good conversation and then I told her that I had a few patients waiting for me and I'd see her back in the lunchtime. I didn't want to leave her alone waiting but had to do my work. I went to my cabin, started working, and soon it was lunchtime. So I got up and some seniors began to ask me to join them for lunch. I made up an excuse that I was too hungry to wait for them and I had to rush immediately to grab something. I left my cabin and reached the cafe where we decided to meet. I was kind of blushing when I saw her waiting for me right there in the cafe. As I was having lunch, I had multiple thoughts running on my mind, like, what if I did not find her waiting for me in the cafe? I would have had to look for her in the entire hospital premises. Better I take her number so I don't have to look for her every time. But suddenly asking a girl for her phone number is kinda indecent. So I chose to have some patience. The next day when I came to the hospital again, my eyes were just looking for her. I parked my car and kept eagerly looking for her everywhere possible, but she was nowhere to be seen. I called the lift to go to my cabin with some disappointment, and the moment lift opened, to my surprise, she was right there inside. We hardly had a minute or two in the lift together, so we just exchanged a smile and decided to meet in the lunchtime. I went to my cabin, quickly finished all my work, and ran towards the lift a few minutes before it was lunch hours. I was having a mix of multiple thoughts and emotions in my mind. After all, it was the last day in the hospital, and I will have to return to my usual boring routine in the hospital tomorrow. Now the lift came, and the moment the doors of the lift opened, I found her right there in the lift once again. Every time I saw her face, I would forget about all of my worries and concerns. The first thing I said to her was, "We know each other from past 2 days, and I do not even know your name yet." "Hi Himash, my name is," and suddenly the lift stopped and her focus shifted to the lift. But my focus was on what she just said. How is it possible that she knew my name when I did not even tell her? And suddenly I recalled that my name is clearly visible on my ID card. She must have seen it. The lift kept stopping at different floors while we were busy with our conversation. But the moment this lift stopped and opened on the third floor, a man entered into the lift which sent shivers down my spine. I cannot explain the fear and the feeling I had in my mind when I saw this person. The moment this person went out of the lift, I realized that this girl was looking at my face with astonished expressions. After a pause of a few seconds, she asked me what happened. So I told her that the person who just got out had a red tag tied on his wrist. "So, what is there to worry about?" So I told her that this red tag is tied on the patients who do not survive. Their bodies sent to the mortuary with this red tag after they die. My words made her a little uncomfortable. She said, "I think you're mistaken. You must have seen something else." So I told her that I've clearly seen it. Without any doubt, it was a red tag. At this point, the lift was on the ground floor. The door was constantly opening and closing. But I was so frozen that I had no courage to get out of the lift. She too looked quite disturbed because of me. In order to console myself, I said, "This must be a prank. This person must be going somewhere to play a prank on somebody." With a mild smile, she said, "Lift has been here for a long time. Don't you have to go?" I felt a little better and I got out of the lift. When I turned back to check, she was standing right there in the lift. I asked her why she was not coming out. So she answered that I was too scared. She will not be seeing me from now on. I knew that she had obvious reasons to say so because she'll be discharged from the hospital today. I put my hand forward with a smile and said, "I am Himansh, and you?" With a smile, she held my hand and said, "I am Sara." She was holding my hand, but it felt like I had absolutely nothing in my hand. This made me immediately look down at her hand, and you won't believe what I saw. Her sleeve that got pulled up due to the handshake exposed the exact same red tag tied on her wrist. I fainted and fell there unconscious. When I came back into senses, I found myself surrounded by my fellow doctors in a room in the same hospital. All of these doctors had so many questions to ask. What is happening with you? Are you facing any health concerns? Do you have depression or anxiety? Why do you keep blabbering to yourself during lunch? That's exactly the reason why we've been asking you to have lunch with us. I felt like none of them was going to believe what exactly happened with me. But I had no other choice, so I told them every single thing that happened. And the moment I said that the name of this girl was Sara, one of them with evident fear and shock in his eyes said, "Sara? Sara is the same girl who got admitted in the hospital the other day. Remember the patient whose body parts were chopped off? And she died on the exact same day when she was admitted." With heavy disbelief, I said, "No, she must be someone else. Are you guys playing a prank on me?" So they said, "No, none of us have ever seen or met her. Let's do one thing, let's get her records from the reception." So one of them got up and went to the reception to get her records. He came back with a file, and when we opened it, it was the exact same girl that I described. She had the same hair, the same face that I used to talk to every day. Her picture sent chills down our spines, and I was all into tears. All of us sat quiet for minutes without saying a word. They asked me to take an off and join back only when I get better. Now that I'm on and off, all of them keep calling me at regular intervals. Thankfully, I have something to be relieved about. They believed my story, they are genuinely concerned about me, and now we are very good friends.